So I was about to go live exactly at 4 o'clock, but then I realized that my microphone, was not picking up. So I did a little test. It should be working now. I know that my voice was super weird last time I went live, so I'm just trying to avoid that this time. I did test my mic, and I just double tested it just now. So I hope that it sounds as good as it did a second ago. I mean, let me know if I sound weird again, please. But we're going to hope that it went good. So I was actually going to go live just on the fly a couple hours ago, but I decided to try out the scheduling feature and see if that made any difference. Also, someone had requested that I schedule it in advance this time, so that is what I have done. I'm not exactly sure if I liked that, though. I kind of think that I liked just like turning on the camera and going right then. So I'll have to experiment with that and see what works best for me that way. Although it was good to kind of plan, and I tried to like plan ahead and get my mic all set up, and then I went to go press play, and then it was not reading after I just tested it. Oh well. So welcome back. I guess that I just wanted to come online because there's just this part of me that needs to do it. And oh, sorry, I had some coffee a little bit ago to amp up my energy for the stream, you know what I'm saying? So I had a bit of coffee, got a little bit of a coffee burp going on. But all right, so to business, to fun, to business fun. So I guess I mostly just wanted to go live to talk a little bit about what's going on. I actually filmed a video earlier today, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I just decided to kind of roll with the momentum as far as filming goes. So hopefully I will edit that video, because this video, I think I can do it. I have like a simple vision that I believe that I can execute, and I think it'll be a fun video. It's actually going to be, so for Christmas, I think I said in one of my other ones, my sister sent me my old diary from when I was 12 and 13 years old. So I actually thought it would be very fun to read that, because I've only read part of it and it is a hoot, let me tell you. So I recorded that video earlier. I've just got to like edit it and make it all YouTube-y, you know. So I'm very excited about that one, though. I'm very excited about that. In fact, the thing is I have all these videos that I've kind of partially started making, and most of them are things like tutorials or just like artsy stuff where I'm trying to like splice, you know, clip together and trying to make it all moody. And I just don't know if my skills are to that degree yet. So, however, I am a storyteller. I can engage with an audience in this way. So I thought, what if I just read my diary to you guys? It's very, very funny. It's just for a little teaser preview. The section that I read out loud today is my first time in a chat room as a 13-year-old, and it's hilarious watching me navigate the jungles of forums and chat rooms and ASL, and you know what I'm saying. So that will be very fun, I think. But since I made myself all pretty today, or I tried, I actually put on some makeup today. I've been trying to give my skin a break, because the thing is, for basically since my teen years, like, even when I'm just like hanging out at home with like family or just like friends and stuff, it's like I have always felt the need to wear makeup. Always, always. Even just running to the grocery store, have to wear makeup, have to do something to make myself look acceptable if other humans are going to see me. However, with this pandemic situation, I've kind of taken the chance to not do that for a minute, and it's actually been very liberating for me, because I think I went from like super insecure, just I can never just have my normal face ever because of my acne, and my hair situation is always doing its thing, and all of that stuff, and now it's like, oh, okay, I actually don't have to see people. So I've been trying to take the opportunity to just not wear makeup, let myself just be my natural self, get used to the way my face looks with less to zero makeup on, because I just kind of have a light sort of makeup thing going on right now, which I kind of like. But I recognize that every single day, what used to happen is I would wake up, I would just be like, ew, look at that ugly monster creature in the mirror, slop some stuff on that face to try and fix that. And I recognize that it's not very healthy, because, even when I was camping, still in my little camp, in my little tent, I'm like putting makeup on before I'm going to go out and meet everybody that I'm camping with. I'm like, okay, gotta make sure that all the squirrels and humans and birds and fish can see how beautiful I am with my makeup on. I don't know. It's really just that feeling of not feeling beautiful. And I'm trying to get over that. That feeling held me back from making YouTube for the entire time that I wanted to do it. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what, dude, I'm not getting any younger. Might as well do it now, right? Speaking of which, the other main reason why I wanted to come on today was just so that I could kind of have a little chat, at least with myself, and just let myself kind of talk it out for a minute. Because another sudden death happened just today. Actually, it has kind of added to the other death, and has kind of really. I feel like I keep getting omens of death, and that's just been stressing me out. I'm not gonna lie, that has been stressing me out, and the fact that two beautiful, artistic, young people are just suddenly gone for mysterious reasons, even, has just very much affected me. We could say it's the other reason why I decided to come on today, actually, because I don't know. I feel like I've been so quiet for so long. Like back when social media first started, I was making posts and trying to be a part of it, but some things happened in my life that just really spooked me from it and made me want to disengage. And I've realized that I haven't left much behind as far as digital identity and footprint goes. And I have, but most of the things that I've done are like hidden, so I just want there to be some sort of record of myself, out there, some sort of proof that I existed, some sort of proof that I live. that I was alive, that I was here, and that I don't know, I had things to say, because I do have things to say. As much as I'm quiet and I don't really make posts that often sharing my opinion and things like that, I do have a voice. And that's what this is about, really. It's about setting my voice free. So, yeah, my friend Katie, oh, maybe I shouldn't say her name, too late. When she passed, I still don't know what happened. Everybody's been very hush hush about it. It was just so very unexpected. But here's the thing about her is we hung out a couple of times, and I always thought she was very, very cool. I thought she was a very awesome person, and I loved her posts. She'd been posting about things like foraging. She'd been really getting into forest foraging, so she'd share cool posts of like her basket full of like foraged forest items and all of these different mushroom varieties and fauna and flora and cultivations, mycological. Is that the word? Is that the scientific word for mushroom? Mycological observations and specimens. And the thing is that she had kind of teased the idea, or some people had requested she start a blog or something, and she had tossed around the idea, and I was actually like really looking forward to that. I really was like, wow, this person has such a wealth of knowledge, because she would always post about books she was reading, and I was like, wow, I'd really be interested to see about her adventures. And so, she was a very creative, very intelligent person. So for her to very suddenly disappear is just very surprising. I don't know why, but it just feels like people like that shouldn't die. I think that our celebrity culture is proof enough. It's like or it kind of shows how we've built up these characters almost like otherworldly. It's like creative, vibrant people just feel like they transcend mortality, and I think that's definitely something I've been grappling with, especially today. Somebody else, and it was the same thing. I hadn't met this person in person yet. They friended me in the middle of the pandemic, actually, but he had been doing a bunch of live streams on Facebook where he was doing like live concerts, about once a week. He'd just do a live stream and he'd just play. And so I caught, a few of those. And if I happened to be on Facebook at the time, I'd listen. And I was like, wow, what a beautiful person with such depth of feeling. And even though I didn't know him, like the way that he played made such an impression. And I had thought to myself that, maybe once things had opened up a bit, I was certain that I would bump into him sooner or later, and maybe we could be friends. I feel like a lot of people, like we run in the same sort of artistic circles here in SLC. So chances are I would have possibly run into him at some point, except now I can't. And that has also really made an impression, because the same sort of thing where I saw this creative, intelligent, vibrant person that seemed like they had so much life to give and so much ahead of them, it would seem to be just suddenly gone. Once again, I'm not sure what happened to him either, but some sort of something in the hospital. So once again, something kind of unexpected, I guess. And anyways, it really doesn't like I have been having omens of death so much lately, and that really does not help. It really doesn't doesn't ease that feeling in my mind, but it does light a hotter fire under my ass, which isn't a bad thing. And that's the reason why I'm here today, live streaming, because I've got to be doing something to show the world who I am. I don't want to keep hiding. The thing is I wasn't really sure who I should be or who I have been for the longest time. And so I just have been in this cocoon. I've just cocooned myself in, and I have just been working in secret and in silence, trying to build myself up into the type of character that I wanted to be, trying to upgrade my avatar to be more skilled, skilled enough to face the world is what I've been going for. I think I'm there, though. I'm there. I'm just fighting out of my cocoon right now. So it's been kind of a rough couple of months, honestly. But I do feel better than before. I feel lighter. And things are coming together. Things are coming together. Especially the past few weeks since the beginning of the year has been like this. It's like I was hanging in there pretty good, but then it's like all of a sudden everything just kind of bottlenecked and collapsed in on itself for a minute. And underneath the collapse, I just kind of was like, okay. Dealing with this right now. Suddenly dealing with all of this right now. Now what do I do? And I've kind of brushed some of the rubble. And now I am feeling better. I'm feeling stronger. For a minute there, like things were real rough in December and January for old Sammy. Things kind of, there was a lot going on in there. I have feelings that February is going to be a lot better, though. I've already got some good changes happening, so looking forward to that. Also, on a personal note, I have seen my book being purchased and out in the wild a few times now, and that has been very fun for me to see people in my community reading my little book of poetry. That's been very nice. I've got my blog. I have so many ideas for my blog and this YouTube channel too, which is part of the problem, I think, or part of my challenge is, and part of just my life challenge is I have so many things I want to do, and I just can't decide sometimes on the focus. And because I can't decide on the thing, I just don't do the thing because there's too many things. But I don't know. I guess the answer is I really just have to try. I just have to experiment more and see what sticks, because there's part of me that wants to be a little more like reviews and like mainstreamy type informational type posts and videos and things like that. But truth be told, I mean, that just feels like supplemental stuff. My heart of hearts wants to do something more like this, if I'm being honest, my heart of hearts, would rather be a little bit more creative, would rather continue doing my art, and would rather be a little more personable with my videos, maybe. I'm not sure how to make this valuable to a wider range of people, because I've been thinking, like, if I do start doing my journals, because honestly, that has been an idea that I've had for a long, long time, to kind of go through my journals together on this channel, and basically, like, I've always felt like that would be a very, very good way for me to honor all of the work that I did in my 20s. Because that idea I was talking about earlier, how I've been hidden for so long and kind of in the shadows, you know. In the past like 5 or so years, I've kind of found ways to reach out into the light and be seen, you know, by getting involved with events. I've really, you know, made quite a performer of myself in the event sphere, as far as like being a promoter and an ambassador goes. I've definitely been seen that way, but I've been kind of hiding from the online sphere because people online are so cool. Like, people online have the coolest lives, and they're the coolest people, and they're so beautiful and talented and amazing. And I just felt like my avatar could not compete with such creatures. However, I feel that my avatar is more ready now. She's more prepared for the uncertainty of the digital sphere. She is more sure of herself, and has a better idea of how she wants to present herself artistically. Talking about myself at a distance there, but that was just a little chatty chat, talky brain thing going on in there that I was just stream of consciousness saying to you all. I actually think that it's a good exercise, personally, to kind of separate yourself a little bit and like really talk to yourself, you know, like really talk to yourself. She's the girl on the computer is telling me to talk to myself. Really though, emotional literacy begins from within. Sometimes it's good to be a little crazy sometimes, okay? Yeah. Anyway, other updates. Okay, so there's still a hole in my kitchen, but they put a thing of drywall and nailed it up over the nasty opening, you know, nasty, rotten, old Victorian home nastiness. They still haven't plastered it. Plastered. Is that even the right word? They haven't finished it, is what I'm saying. It's basically just an ugly, I would take you over there, but I'm not going to do that because last time with the mic, it did not go well. Okay. But basically, it's just, yeah, it's not as bad as it was, but it still looks really ugly. So yeah, I did clean my kitchen though. I scrubbed it. I got all the nasty. It doesn't stink in there anymore because whatever was in those particles smelled. But once I cleaned all the nasty, dusty particles and I really scrubbed and I got some vinegar, you know, and I got my soap and I scrubbed everything. So yeah, I have my kitchen almost back. They're gonna come on Wednesday and finish it. So I'll have to take my kitchen apart a little bit again, but hopefully it's not as nasty because they won't be like destroying old rotten wood. They'll just be like painting plaster and stuff. They'll just be like, what's that stuff called? The putty stuff, that's plaster, right? I don't know. I don't do construction. Do I look like a person that does construction? I mean, then again, though, my sister, I never knew she was into that kind of stuff, but she bought a house recently, which Good for her. Good for her. That's amazing, man. She bought a house and she's been like redoing it. And I was like, man, I didn't know she knew how to do all this stuff. But I mean, just YouTube and a little help from a couple other people. But hey, this is one reason why I want to be part of the community. You know, it's a very help sphere and I love it. And it's a good channel for self-expression. And since everybody is dying, I will not leave this life without leaving some kind of an impression. That's what I've decided. Yeah, sorry I keep getting so like grim about death and stuff. It really has been on my mind a lot lately. And then that dream that I had that I know I told you guys about where I got crushed by the moon and yeah, I died. It wasn't very dramatic. I just kind of was in a black floaty void, but I don't know. It's just given me a lot to think about. Let's see. I had something else I wanted to talk to you guys about. Finally going to have my kitchen back. I've been noticing my energy levels have been a little lately, and I believe that a big part of that is because my kitchen has been out of commission for a good week or so, like a week and a half at this point, I guess, about that long. And I'm so bad with time, guys. Sometimes I'll just be like, wait, how long has it been? Time is it? Which is one reason why I think I'd rather just like stream on the fly than schedule a certain time, because then I can just like catch it in the moment. But it's good to schedule things too, though. So I don't know. Let's see. I had something else I wanted to bring up when I went live today. Oh yeah, let me finish that thought I was just having a second ago that I cut myself off on, and I forgot. So I've noticed my energy levels kind of going, and I think that's because my kitchen's been out of commission, so I haven't been cooking as much or eating as much, and which means that my vegetable intake has gone, like I stopped juicing because, man, I really am just, I'm a very resilient person, but sometimes I can just be not so happy for a few days, you know? And that's basically what happened, is like all this bullshit was going on with my kitchen. And oh man, at first I was taking it in stride, but then the situation just kept dragging on. And then the construction people were kind of being douches. Like I'm not trying to be like super, look, I'm not trying to be a pain in the butt, but they did not treat my home with respect, okay? They did not treat my home with respect. And one guy was like coughing all over my apartment with no mask on. And I was just trying to let it slide because I figured it was okay. But then I was like, you know what? I really would have been more comfortable. They've been going to a bunch of different houses. The other guy, you know, has been seeing a bunch of different people as well. It really would have made me more comfortable if he was wearing a mask while he was coughing. So this time I just put a little sign on my door just saying, hey guys, please wear a mask this time. Just, you know, you guys have been other places, and let's just be considerate. I also hoped it would make them more conscientious. Like, I don't want to be a butthole, but they broke some stuff of mine, and they were getting a little too comfy with me to the point where they were like saying nasty shit. Sorry, I shouldn't swear, but they were like the one dude was making these weird sexual jokes, and they were just getting a little too comfy for me. So I just wanted to create a more conscientious environment. You know, I just wanted to create a more conscientious environment, and if the one dude was going to keep coughing, I just wanted to be careful. You know, it's my home, and they were kind of being brutes in my home, and I just wanted them to respect me and respect my home. Sounds like one of my neighbors is home. One second. Okay, I don't know. The thing is I specifically decided to stream earlier today for two reasons. Reason number one, because the one viewer asked me to stream earlier next time since he's in a different time zone. So I was listening to that. Thing number two is my new neighbor upstairs, the one with the broken pipe situation, which turns out it was actually the contractors who fixed the apartment that actually broke the pipe. They put some nails through it apparently. So it was their fault, but yeah, I am specifically filming right now because he's gone, and I just was gonna do it while there was nobody walking around upstairs making noise, you know? And then there's somebody, it might be my other neighbor. His car wasn't that. He's been gone for ages. I don't know what's up with that dude. But I haven't seen him in a minute. So maybe he just stopped by for a sec. Who knows? Who knows? Anyway. Nobody's in the chat. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, hello. Welcome to my chat. Feel free to say hi. Boop. There we go. So if anybody comes in, then they can see that I wrote a message in the chat, and maybe they'll be encouraged to chat. Honestly, not that I need anybody to chat. To be honest, I can just talk all by myself and be perfectly fine. Be perfectly happy about that. But I don't know. I do get curious about who's watching, you know. So might not be a bad idea to encourage. And then maybe if I put a comment, maybe it'll just seem more legit. I don't know. Do I look legit to you, viewer? Do I look legit? Maybe. Let's see. I really don't know what's a good length of time to do these for if you don't actually have an audience. Because I think if you have like an audience and you're doing Q&As and stuff, maybe it's a little more, it's more interactive, and maybe it makes sense for it to be longer. But if I'm just sitting here on my bed, like, is that weird? You know, if I'm just chatting to myself for a few hours, is that weird? I actually kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie, I actually do. If you're any of my ex-boyfriends, you would know I can really get chatting. When I'm comfy, I can get going. If I'm not comfy, I probably will be very quiet though. So honestly, if you've gotten to that point with me, then that's a very good sign. Or if you're distant enough to be at a YouTube video, then I guess you get the same treat. I don't know. I was going to say the same luxury, but I don't know if this is particularly luxurious. I think I will just kind of have it up though, at least for a minute. Yep. Let's see. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, yeah. I had another thread that I was going to go on, and then I jumping back. So my energy levels have been a little the past couple of weeks. And I think that is because my kitchen's been out of commission because I haven't been juicing my vegetables. So I need to do that tonight. I've got that on my to-do list. I also need to make February's bullet journal overview, which I am looking forward to. I just can't believe it's February already. I got used to, let me show you guys my You know, I really wish that I would have known in my 20s that juicing fresh vegetables every day like makes your skin and your life so much better. It's a pain in the butt though. I'm not gonna lie. It is annoying. But worth it, you know. Like I can definitely notice, you know, when my skin doesn't feel quite as happy, you know, and my energy doesn't feel quite as good. Also, my sleep schedule got way wonkus lately, way wonky, and I have been returning back to a good sleep equilibrium. And I think that that's been helping a lot actually, because I've been feeling real, real stressed January and December, not going to lie. I want to show you guys my January bullet journal spread though, a little bit. So I started this. I had intended to write more stuff in this page. I think I'm just going to write a little overview on there. I had a few different ideas for what I wanted to do with that page, but I think I'm just going to essentially treat it like a little overview journal entry, since I love me some journaling, guys. I really do. Journaling is very fun. Anyways, look at that. I made it pink and teal, like my brand colors. I guess that my brand colors are more of a light corally pink and a minty green tealy color, and cosmic latte, kind of tanny cosmic latte, black and white and gray. That's what I decided for myself. You can go to my website at samzog.media and you will see the colors I am speaking of. It's kind of like this-ish, except this is purple. So, but this is kind of like, and these are the colors that are all in my room, in my bathroom. So it just feels right, you know, it just feels right. I really liked this spread though. Like, look at that. Look how cute. Look at how cute those little boxes are. Like sometimes, like I really do just kind of prefer a little bit of a more simple spread, because if I get too elaborate, you want to know what happens if I get too elaborate? September is what happens when you get too elaborate, where I create all of these elaborate designs. Like, look at this. That's pretty, like, this is cute. I don't know why. I did like digital vegetables, and my idea was like all purple vegetables. So for some reason, I was just like, vegetables. Well, I started with the color. I was like, and I didn't even color it. And the color was the whole point. I chose purple vegetables. It was because I wanted to do like the tealy green and the purple, and that's the colors I wanted to do for September. So I picked all purple vegetables to match the theme. And then I made all these cute designs. And I do, like, look. I don't know if you can see, but I drew, like, look at that. Let's do the eggplants. Those freaking eggplants. Like, look at how cute those are. It was because in September, I got into like the heirloom. I got into the heirloom vegetables in September. You know, the ones that are like rainbow colored and stuff like that. Oh yeah. I'm still on the heirloom rainbow medley veggies. I never knew that simply buying rainbow vegetables makes the experience so much more enjoyable. Cooking up some potatoes, you can have your normal potato, but if you've got like the rainbow colored potatoes with the purple and the red and the yellow, that's so beautiful. That's real nice. Sure, you can get your normal carrots, but if you get the ones that are purple and yellow and orange and white and all the different colors, that's way more fun. It looks way better when you put it in your salad or in your stew or something. That's really fun. You know, or you get the multicolored tomatoes, same thing. Anyway, it's weird, but small shifts like that, just really small things can really create a lot of value, extra value in your life. And that's just one of those small things that I was like, you know what? Instead of buying the normal ones, I'm going to buy the rainbow medley ones. A lot of the time they're like the same price or like, you know, maybe $1 more. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's do this, you know, just buy, you know, nice, but keep it simple. That's kind of what I did. So anyways, but yeah, September is what happens when I get too elaborate is I make all of these cute designs and then I just didn't even ink it. I'm going to ink it though. I'm going to ink it. And yeah, anyways, so I need to set up February. I need to set up February. I've got an idea though. I think for February, I'm going to do pastels because I got these. I got this cute little set of the pastel mild liners. The pastel zebra. Do you see that? Anyway, it's the zebra mild liners and they're pastel and they're very cute. And it's going to be Valentine's. And so I thought I would do pastel hearts was my original idea, was just like pastel hearts and stars and stuff like that. Just kind of cutesy. Since it's love month, I just wanted to be all cutesy about it. So I want to use these, but there's actually another bullet journaler who's very popular on YouTube. Like if you are into bullet journals at all, particularly art bullet journaling, you probably know who she is. Amanda Rachel Lee is her name, and she has a very popular bullet journaling channel, and she's really, really good at it. Her designs are really clean and really nice. She's a pro. And anyways, so I had already decided that I was going to do pastel hearts, but I didn't watch her video this time, but I saw it pop up that she was doing a spread that was, you know, those little chalk hearts. What are those ones called? You know, the ones that are have little messages on them. I feel like those have a name. But those things, it was the little candy chalk hearts with the messages. And I was like, oh, that's a really cute idea. So I think I might do that too. Or I'll do it my way though, because I really liked the idea of putting funny little messages, because she's got all the classic cute messages on her hearts. But I was thinking I'd just sam it up a little bit, you know, and probably just write weird things on my hearts. And then I can do the pastel. That's what I want. These are very bright though, so maybe I'll regret that decision halfway through the month. We shall see. Because they're just very in your face, like bam, sort of bright. Let's see. I had something else I wanted to tell you guys, which is really nobody. Okay, a couple of eyes, but yeah. I've had some exciting stuff. I don't want to say it though. I can't tell you that thing because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm going to wait until the good thing actually happens and then I'll tell you guys. So I do have something else I want to say, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to jinx it. So I'm going to wait. This is good exercise for me, indeed. Yeah, I'm really a rambler. My brain just gets going, you guys. My brain just goes and goes. This is a very good outlet for me. See, this is why, okay, part of me wishes that I would have done this in my like early 20s, except I wasn't really set up this way though when I was in my early 20s. Like you can just could you go live? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you could. I don't think so. I think what you would do is you would just like record and then you just like post that video, you know? I mean, I could have done that, you know, and I could have just rambled and rambled and rambled and rambled and rambled and rambled and rambled instead of letting those thoughts bounce all around. But actually, it's probably good I didn't, because then I put all of those thoughts in journals, which is actually helping me out even more now, because now that I actually am building a platform and doing my thing, I have got so much good stuff to work from, which was always my plan for myself. I actually really appreciate past me because she's very good at looking ahead for future me. Like past me is a good girl like that. She's always looking forward. Like I'm really glad because I took the career path that I did, you know, because yeah, okay. Maybe I didn't exactly follow the wild. Well, okay, that's not true. I did follow the wild and free artist path, just not to the degree I was envisioning. But the me of the now is actually grateful for that. Yeah. The me of the now is actually grateful that the me of the past was a bit more practical and got her degree. But I honored the creative part because I got my degree in English creative writing specifically. And my minor was in digital media. So I really did try to make it practical. And then when I got out of school, instead of going straight into like creative stuff or whatever, I tried to get into marketing. And you know, I'm still learning marketing, to be honest. I learned more event marketing, and I learned a bit about like running campaigns, like Kickstarter campaigns and things like that. Some social media, just not for myself. And yeah, but now we're learning it for myself. And let's see. Yeah, you know what? I've been feeling sorrow for, especially with all this death going on, I've been feeling sorrow for past me because I'm like, oh no, all of these beautiful creative people are just disappearing. And I'm like, what if that happens? You know, I really wish I could have, but I mean, I experimented. I have a few different Tumblr blogs and projects that I've just kind of abandoned or retired, I suppose, since Tumblr isn't really a space that I go to anymore. But they just made it worse and worse and worse, man. At this point, it's like, what's the point of even going on there? I mean, it's a whole different ball game now. It's not what it was before. It's not what it was before. And but yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that I kind of took the path I did, but I feel sorrow that I didn't like post more and stuff like that. The thing though is I actually posted a lot to my stories. Like it started on Snapchat where instead of like posting on Facebook or whatever, I just snap a little thing on Snapchat and it's gone in 24 hours and there you go. And then they added stories to everything else. And then I was like, oh, then I kind of stopped using Snapchat. Also, I only had like not very many people on my Snapchat and a couple people on there that aren't on my other social media anyway. So pointless to be on there for me at this point. Unless there becomes a reason, I probably won't go back to that. But I'm really glad started adding them to my stories though, because yeah, like some of my stories have been like popping up on my Facebook and stuff, and I don't ever go on Facebook, but that's actually been really pleasant. And I'm like, oh, and I'm like, why didn't I post these things? Why didn't I just post them as posts? Why did I just put them in my stories? And the reason for that is because I was hiding. I was afraid. because of all of the embarrassing things in life. And if it's only up for 24 hours, then if you're embarrassed, then it's just gone. So it's fine. But I found myself feeling sad and just wishing that I had left more of a memorable impression, something that wasn't so slipping through the sands of time. And so now I'm going to start doing videos like this. And I have started posting. I've actually been posting my art and stuff on Instagram where people can actually see. And I've been posting my art and stuff on Facebook where people in my life can actually see it. Because that's the thing. In the past, I would post on Tumblr because nobody in my real life ever went on those blogs. Really. It was just other random people on Tumblr. So that was safe, What I'm doing now is not safe in that same way. I'm really putting myself out there and I'm letting the people in my life know the real me. So we'll see how that goes. Okay. Well, I'm sick of not being the bold version of me, though, because I am actually, the nerve, the nerve of me, because I've been thinking of that before, that it's like, man, what? I'm just gonna try to build a platform and come out the gate and say, hey guys, I know you guys didn't know this, but actually I'm an author, I'm a writer and an illustrator, and I'm a poet, and I'm all of these things, And so just that's just who I am. I know that you weren't aware of that until this point, but now and in fact, it's so much the case that here's my book. I imagine there's this part of me that's just like, man, the audacity, girl, the nerve to think you can just come out the gate and say, I'm an artist. But that's a part of me that I actually really want to feed into, that sort of the audacious side of me with nerve, that's not afraid to let the real her out. And truth be told, I feel like this is a medium where I actually can let the real me out, because I don't have to hide or edit myself in the same way. I mean, it's still good for me to, be conscientious about my words, but it's not the same sort of pressure. Because there's this thing where when I'm around other people, it's always been this way my entire life, where even the people that I love the very most make me uncomfortable. Like every single person in the world makes me uncomfortable. Every single person, every single one. Even the ones that I love very dearly and consider my very closest best friends make me feel uncomfortable. And I know that that's a problem in me, but I've never been able to fix it. And I'm not sure what that's about. I'm not sure what that's about exactly. I thought to myself that if I could just get more comfortable with myself, then that would go away. And I was right. I mean, the more comfortable I get with myself, the more that sort of intimidation aspect does fade away. Or it's not even intimidation exactly. Intimidation isn't, I mean, sometimes it's intimidation, but it's a bunch of different feelings is what it is. It's just uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to be around other people. It just is. Even when it feels amazing, it still feels a little bit uncomfortable. And maybe that's just like the plight of being human. Does anybody else feel that way? I mean, I'm sure somebody else does, but I'm not sure if that's just like specifically like a feature in my brain just because of who I am and the circuitry I got going on up there. Because other people seem like they're super comfortable around others. In fact, some people seem like they're more comfortable around others. And I'm just like, I don't get it. I try to fit in, but I'm just like this. I'm just weird. I'm just awkward. And people say things. And I don't know how to say things in a way that people like. I mean, I don't know. I guess that's not exactly true. I can say things in a way that people like, but it's not always entirely authentic because I'm usually like just being like, okay. When I'm walking around in life around people, it's just like this overwhelming, just in the moment experience. And it's like somebody approaches me and I'm just like taking that in. And it's like everything that's said and everything that's done, my brain's like, next action. What will protect? What will make the other person comfortable? What will make them happy? What will make you seem less awkward? You know, what can we say that is true, but also hopefully not annoying? Because the thing is I feel like I'm still an annoying person, but I used to be way more annoying when I was like, so that's probably another reason why it's good to not have had a functioning YouTube in my early 20s, because I would have been so annoying, you guys. You think I'm annoying right now? You ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing. I had one boss that used to call me obnoxious all the time. So yeah, it's like, how do I not be obnoxious? How do I not be obnoxious? How do I not be obnoxious but still pleasant and agreeable? Because as a woman in this society, that is what is expected of you. And if you are not pleasant, agreeable, make people feel comfortable, then you are a bitch. And I don't want to be that. Now I'm starting to change that perspective, though. Now I'm starting to see the value in being a bitch, and I'm trying to let those parts of me out in more productive ways, though, instead of having it be like a situation where maybe my boundaries get worn down to such a degree that I'm finally like, get away from me, you know? If I can just like be more I don't know, boundaried up front, a little more bitchy up front, maybe, then maybe that would be better for me. So I'm working on it. Or at least I'm working on just the boundaries thing. I really am. And just not being so down on myself for not being perfectly agreeable at all times, you know? Because sometimes when you're too agreeable, that's not agreeable at all. Anyway, do I have anything else that I really want to say? Yeah. I mean, I can always think of things to say, don't get me wrong. So I watched that movie Soul the other day. I don't know if anybody has seen it, but it also left a good impression on me. Again, death. Again, theme of death. Anyway, about a guy who dies and goes through a whole journey there. I don't think that that's a spoiler, is it? But the theme, I've definitely been thinking a lot about the theme of that, you know, about, because they touched a lot about the purpose of life and how maybe the purpose of life isn't quite what you think it is, you know, that we build up these ideas of purpose in such a grandiose way that we think our purpose is our spark, you know, our purpose is our life's work. And I do that to myself often. And in fact, that's exactly been the whole struggle of my teens and 20s and now into my 30s, you know. It's this struggle of trying to make something, trying to build a purpose in life, something that can ripple beyond But maybe it doesn't have to be like that to make the ripples, you know? Maybe you just make the ripples by walking on the sidewalk in your own unique way. That is what all of the spiritual people say, isn't it? They say that you don't have to do anything more than what you are doing to be the perfect piece of the entire picture that you already are. That is what they would say. And, you know, maybe they're right about that. But still, I must honor this inner part of me that needs to make things anyway. Whether that's my purpose or not, I just feel like I can help some people somehow, you know? Or at least I hope so. Maybe I'll only help myself, but that's a good place to start, right? Yeah. I'm going to post that video of my diary, though, as soon as I can. Maybe that'll be something fun for everyone. I'm so glad that I wrote that diary. I'm so glad that I wrote this thing. Really, there's not very many entries in it. I counted, there's like 13 or 14. But you know, that's something. And I know I have other notebooks is the thing, is I know I've got other journals and other notebooks that I wrote in when I was a child. And so I don't know, maybe if this journal goes well and is really fun, maybe I can, well, I want to do the same thing with my journal of my 20s, to be honest. That one's maybe going to be a little bit harder to go through, though. Definitely more intense, definitely more emotional than 13-year-old ASL, you know. That was the most exciting thing, was some 13-year-old dude in the chat room flirting with me, you know. Oh, the diary of my 20s are much more moody, much more existentially perturbed. I wrote a bunch of poetry when I was a kid, though. Like, I had at least 2 totally full notebooks just full of poetry. I may have even had more. I hope that I can find them. I think I know where they are, but that would be a real hoot. That would be a hoot to read some of my old angsty poetry. Okay, it really wasn't that angsty. I mean, some of it was, but I would really like to do that. Like, I feel like that is one thing that I think would be a fun way to kind of use my channel. I want to do other things with it, but I would really like to memorialize all of the work and effort that my younger self did, so that all of her efforts aren't for naught, you know. I feel like that really would honor her. And like, the thing is I'm going to be reading my diary to everybody, and 13-year-old me would have been mortified to know that I'm planning to read her diary to the world. But hey, I also think that younger me would probably trust the judgment of older me to edit out the more cringy parts and leave the charm, you know. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to try to do, is only leave the charming cringy bits. So we don't totally embarrass her. Poor girl. Oh man, she really was going through it. Kids have such a weird view of the world, don't they? It's such a weird environment, because we tell them all these weird things about what life is, and then they try to like play it out in some weird psychotic school realm, you know. Really, it's awful, but I guess it is necessary. I mean, kids gotta learn. Mm. Okay, well, I was gonna maybe see if Duncan hopped on since he was so wanting to uh, not miss the stream this time. But you know what, dude? I scheduled it. I did it earlier, so I tried. I tried to make my fan happy, but it's okay if they're not happy, you know? Because I actually had an interesting conversation with my one friend Lee on the phone a bit ago, because I was just like, man, because I kind of had some ideas, and then I started doing my channel, and I did some live streams, and I was like talking to Lee about it, and I was like, man, I had this certain idea for like what I wanted, but then I did these live streams, and I've had a couple different people like offer suggestions, and like a couple different people have like requested lookbooks and fashion stuff, and I'm like, I don't know, like that wasn't really my plan. Like I don't really consider myself that to be my specialty, you know. I mean, I try to be cute, but that wasn't really my plan. I feel like there's enough people like that out there, and I've got other skills, and I mean, that's not one of my top ones. I mean, but then I was like, well, if that's what people want from me, marketing people would say that's what you should do, right? You should give your audience what they want. Lee, on the other hand, was like, screw those guys. Well, not quite that harsh, but he's just basically like, Sam, no, like, do you got to do you know? They don't know what they want. You don't know what they want until you give it to them, and I think that's good advice. So that's what this is. This is me just being me and seeing what I make and seeing the things that I say. And if these are the things that feel good for me to talk about, then I should do that, right? And I've got my art and things. Maybe, I don't know if anybody cares about my art, but I would like to incorporate journaling and art a bit more. I've got ideas of how to do that, but I really like to tell stories, though, is the thing. Like that's one of my favorite things, and that's one of my favorite things to do with other people is I love to just tell stories of my life, and I love to hear stories of other people's lives. So maybe story times is a good idea for me, I think. I don't know if I can do it the right way. Because a storyteller is one thing that I've always wanted to be. So maybe this should be a storytelling medium. Like I said, maybe I'll do some reviews because I've got some ideas of some reviews and stuff. I've got another idea for a project that I've started, but then I kind of like, I was like, okay, this is my plan. Because I was like, okay, this is a good idea. This is a good idea to hack the algorithm and give people something that they want, maybe. But so I was going to do that like right out the gate with January, but things did not go as planned. End of December, beginning of January did not go as planned. And in that time where things weren't going as planned, I kind of got cold feet on my initial plan. And I was like, maybe I don't want that to be my thing. My plan that I thought was a good thing. I'm going to try it, but I want to try some other things too. So yeah, that's what this is about. Because if you want to be seen, you gotta work the algorithm. If you want to be seen, you gotta make the system understand you. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I want the system to understand what I am, which means I can't confuse it too bad, you know. So I'm just, this inability to nicheify has just prevented me from walking this path for so long. But at this point, I'm just like, whatever, dude. You know what? I always just figure things out as I go anyway. That's just my life path. So why am I holding myself back here? You know, I guess because you're kind of figuring yourself out with an audience, which is kind of scary. But I figured myself out enough throughout my 20s that at this point, I can have humility enough to figure myself out with an audience for a minute, you know? I did my work. I think it's okay if other people see me being a goofball for a minute. I'm finally comfortable enough with myself to be a goofball and think that's okay. This is good practice for me. Thank you, viewers. The silent watcher. This is good practice for me. It really is. The days are getting longer again. It's February, because I was thinking to myself, like, man, it would have been so dark by now a month ago, but now it's still light outside, which is actually, I think I like the way, well, the lighting was a bit better before, I think, but I was wondering how that was going to change, since I'm trying to be more conscientious of lighting and sound, since that's a good thing to do when you're making video content. So I wondered how the sun setting would affect my lighting situation, and so far it's not so bad. I think I did prefer it when the sun was up a little bit, so I don't remember that. But yeah, it's also hard to record when you've got like neighbors and stuff, especially because the walls are like super thin in this building. So I wouldn't at all be surprised if my downstairs neighbors are just like listening to me ramble to myself. Although there's a vent right there, and part of me wonders if every time I talk, stuff just goes whoosh right down the vent. But we can't be afraid of that, because that's one thing that has kept me silent as well. That's another thing that prevented me from making videos, is just the fact that when I very first moved into this apartment, I was just playing music and being super, super loud and just doing my thing. But then at one point, I just realized that I was like, oh, everybody can freaking hear me. Great. And then I clammed right up and I became much more quiet at that point. Also, like, really what clued me in was the fact that the homeowner guy who had a meltdown and attacked me and is now in legal guardianship and hopefully doing much better. But one of the first clues is like he kept appearing on my doorstep with random gifts that were very relevant to conversations I had been having. In fact, there was one time where I was like on the phone and I was like, oh yeah, my walls are kind of bare right now. I just need to get some art. They're not bare anymore. But I was like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe I'd like maybe a painting of some a painting of some nice fruit, a nice painting of some fruit. That was the phrasing I said. Then the next day, all of a sudden, here he comes. Knock, 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 knock. Oh, hi, Sammy. I just thought, you know what your apartment needs? I was thinking maybe you needed a painting of some nice fruit. And he used that exact phrasing, a painting of some nice fruit. And that was the moment. And he did that with a couple other things as well that were actually more sensitive topics, where he kind of hinted that he had been listening. And I was like, holy shit, he can hear everything I'm saying. That freaks me out. So that's another reason why I haven't been like doing videos and stuff as well, is just the feeling of everybody can hear me, Also, that's the same problem with social media, where I was like, everybody can see me, can hear me, especially when Facebook started doing that thing where you can like see everything that everybody comments or likes. Like, I was like, oh my God, this is too intense right now. See everything that anybody says or does. And that means anybody can see anything I do and say. And that scared the crap out of me, man. Because let's just say there was a pretty twisted situation going on in my early to mid 20s involving that kind of thing. And it messed me up because I thought I was a very naive girl, we'll put it that way. And some dudes really messed with my brain. Yep. And they kind of did it on purpose. This is what happens when guys are like raised in this weird pickup artist learning how to mess with people's psyches thing, because I had no idea. Like, I feel like a lot of girls, I think at this point is probably different, but back at that point in time, I don't think a lot of women actually knew about the creepy pickup artist stuff. Like, it was kind of a secret, I guess, with dudes. But now it's just like, oh my God, that's so creepy and so scary. And it taught men how to do some really scary, creepy, manipulative things. And that's basically how it happens. And yeah, it was a twisted situation. It messed me up big time. And also in just seeking spirituality and stuff, created this whole wormhole in my brain as well that didn't help that situation. So it's like we all dove into this technology, you know, and we went through some really nasty growing pains. But now that things are a little bit more settled and I'm a bit more settled, like, I'm not as afraid of it anymore because I understand it better. Yeah, and you know what? If twisted things want to happen, that's okay. And if people want to see me, then they can see me, you know? If I'm imperfect and people are looking at me, oh well, you know. I'm just sick of hiding, really. I'm so sick of hiding who I am because I'm afraid of other people. Because I'm afraid of them, you know. I just don't want to be afraid anymore. So that's what this is for. Yeah. Anyways, guys, I think I really am running out of steam now. Plus my neighbor, well, he might not be back for a minute, but my neighbor probably will be back soon. So I think I'll try and wrap this up unless there's something else I should talk about. I feel like there's always something that I want to talk about. Talk about weird weather. Talk about the weather when you don't know what to do. This has been the warmest winter ever. And honestly, I know that's not a good sign for our environment, but I hate the cold. So I've been okay with it. Okay. Let me think how I want to end this. How do I want to end this? How do I want to end this? End it in silence? Seems a bit anticlimactic. Not that there was much of a climax to this. Oh, God. All right. Sorry. I'm not going to say that thought I just had. Well, let's just end it there then. Before I make myself too embarrassed, I'm reminding myself of an early version of me. Oh, maybe I'll do that actually. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tease this. So I've got this video that I recorded. Man, I wrote so much about this. Like, it's so funny because most of the entries in this diary are so short. But the one about my first time in the chat room is like so many pages long, and that's hilarious. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tease my upcoming video because that's something that a YouTuber would do, right? All right, so February 4th, 2002. That was almost 20 years ago, almost. That's nuts. Dear Diary, I went to sailormoon.com to check my email and got more than I bargained for. Okay, I'm just going to tease that much. That's a real tease, isn't it? Let's just say 13-year-old me, almost, I guess it was, 19 years ago, logged on to SailorMoon.com and got more than she bargained for. So, we'll see what happened to her next time. Bye 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 bye. Until next time, Sailor Moon out.